Okay, here we are live. Hello, folks. Andrew here, Top Fitness Strategies. Yes, I have another interview this evening. But before we get started, as always, I want to make sure that we're on the same page with everything. I have the sponsorship for my videos, my interviews. Of course, is my recent ebook that I wrote. The 102. I just tell you. Let me just do this real quick. 102. Just a second here, just so we're on the same page. Here we go. 102 at-home common sense health and fitness tips. Yes, that's my new ebook. It's not all about working out. It's about health and fitness in the household. I go through that and get into more details about everything. And it's also videos in there. I demonstrate a lot of the stuff, and it's pretty cool. So that's what I wanted to bring up, and I'll put the link in the thing as we go along. But my guest tonight, I guess he's there. Look at that. It popped up. All right. My guest this evening is from Dad Bod Fitness. And his name is David. David, welcome.
I am super glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Okay. This is pretty funny. And I got to tell you all, I reached out to David, I don't know how many months ago.
It's been a while.
And well before all the holidays started, I think well before Halloween even. And we were texting back and forth, contacting back and forth. And then life happened with me. Life happened with him. He got back in touch with me before Christmas. And my schedule is a lot more flexible, I would say, because I'm a single guy. And David's is not so flexible, and you'll understand why, because he's a family guy, and which is great, fantastic. And that's why we were hit and miss all the time, but we was in great contact, and now we're together. So David, what I said, was that accurate? Was I accurate?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yep.
Fantastic.
Lots of texts going back and forth, and whoops! Oh wow, how's it been several months here?
At least several months. So
Yeah.
I ran across David's YouTube page, and I thought it was brilliant. What really caught me was all the photos that he put up of, and I'll be honest, and I'll call them silly photos. If that's the wrong, you tell me.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's kind of me.
Your kids and everything else, and the photos really stood out to me, and I started watching his videos, and I said, this guy knows his stuff. So of course I wanted to contact him and see if I can get him on. So David, tell me, how did you get started, and where does Dad Bod Fitness come from?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. It's been fascinating for me. This is like a childhood thing that I used to like. I'm not like a typical, if I can classify myself as a fitness influencer of some sort. I'm not like the typical where they grow up. They started like lifting weights when they were, in high school, started, for years they've been, working on building muscle, getting lean, getting fit. For me, I was always kind of healthy, relatively. I worked out or more just kind of exercised. But when I was a kid, I'm shorter in stature. So I was always fascinated by guys who were really big, even if they weren't tall, if they were muscular. That always struck me, and I always liked the idea of that, but I never took it anywhere. It was more of just as a kid, I wished I could be that. And not that I'll ever become, that big, just genetics, but that kind of always stuck with me. For years I ran, did a lot of running. When I met my wife in college, she ran a lot and could, whoop my butt doing running. So that kind of got me into gear. Basically, it all kind of moved into, I started doing some online stuff with Beachbody, doing their workouts, the Insanity workouts. So a lot of cardio. I always lifted weights a little bit, but I never knew what I was doing. And finally, this is jumping ahead now to really about 4 years ago. My wife runs a small business and wanted to do a 30-day challenge, and it's where you cut out a whole bunch of things. I'm sure people have heard of stuff like that before. I was like, no, like absolutely not. But it was going to help her business if I did it. So we committed to that, and in about 4 weeks, I lost 10 pounds, and for the first time, like I had visible abs, and I was like, oh, like I literally did nothing but change what I was eating. So. And I'm like the guy, she would ask me, do you want ranch? Or I'm sorry, do you want some chicken with your ranch? So that was just kind of, I never was really overweight, but I just ate whatever, I wanted, didn't think about it. So all of that then pushed me into like actually learning what it takes to build muscle, to try and stay fit and get lean. So that kind of launched the whole journey. And I was like, I have kids. Is this even possible? You know, the people that you see out there, is it even possible to do? So hence the name Dad Bod Fitness. I did not want to become the typical dad bod. I was like, this is kind of my fight against it. It's my journey, really. You know, I'm much newer to the game than a lot of people out there that you'll see, but I found a lot of fun ways and creative ways to be able to do it, even while I have a chaotic, life with family, 3 kids and 3 businesses. So that's kind of where it all started.
Oh, fantastic! So one of the things you brought up, and I don't want to overlook this, is, and I wrote this down. You say you changed a couple of things with your diet. I don't know why I have a pen in my hand. In your diet, and in a month you lost 10 pounds.
Yeah.
So right away I'm thinking, all right, I'm curious, what did you change?
Right. Yeah.
Did you give something up? Did you add something, replace something? So walk me through that a little bit.
Sure. Yeah. So, it's called the Arbonne 30 Days to Healthy Living. And basically it's cutting out a lot of inflammatory foods. And the whole idea is kind of detoxify your body, give your body a boost. Obviously you have your kidney and your liver, and your body's set up to detoxify, but this is to help give you a boost, cut out processed foods. You're eating whole foods, and they give you an option for protein shakes if you want, that are meal replacement shakes, and a lot of these other different supplements that go along with it, that ultimately a side result from it is weight loss, because you tend to be more full, more satiated, higher in, nutrient dense foods. So basically I cut out coffee. I cut out, which most people would be like, don't cut out my coffee.
Hey, whoa, hey, let's give a second here. Oh, whoa.
So yeah, but I gave it up for 30 days. I think I actually went like almost 2 months without coffee, but so I gave up coffee, all sugar, processed sugars, peanut butter, oh my goodness, gluten, dairy, so it's a lot of things that are usually very readily available, and you can just eat and tend to overeat. So you instinctively start actually thinking about, your body's hunger signals and things like that. So the first week was like really rough, but after that, I got in the swing of things. We ended up doing it for like a month and a half. But ultimately I think the higher nutrient dense foods made a huge difference just in my, ability to actually train, to sleep better. I felt great. I wasn't eating processed junk. And gosh, there's one other thing I was going to say about it, but I can't remember it now. But through it, I actually found part of it. It was probably a lot the coffee, but also I found cutting out sugar. I used to get headaches regularly. They vanished. And they've been gone now for at least a couple of years. Intermittently, they'll come back. But
okay, stop.
Yeah, go ahead.
Stop. So you were getting headaches while you were consuming sugar, or when you were get off the sugar?
No, it's just like, but yeah. So when I got off the sugar, that's when all of a sudden the headache stopped. I think sugar had to do with it. I think coffee had to do with it. If you typically drink coffee and then you cut it out, a lot of people get a headache. So I think the combination of those two things just kind of erratic. Now I tend to eat lower sugar. I still eat sugar, but so yeah. It was fascinating, and ultimately it led me to eating less, and I lost weight. So
this is the company your wife started, or the company your wife got involved?
Yeah, she's associated with the company. Yeah, she got involved with the company. So
okay.
It's been fascinating.
Now I don't want to. I'm not here to give other companies a plug, of course.
Sure,
but if it comes up in conversation, fantastic. I have no problem with that.
Yeah.
Now you mentioned Beachbody earlier. I am not a Beachbody distributor, and I'm not going to ask if you are or not.
Yeah.
But my channel, the folks that follow me know I am a huge P90X fan.
Oh, nice.
Love P90X.
Yes.
I think it is probably one of the best workout programs on the planet. And I'm saying that, and I don't get paid for it at all. I have nothing to do with Beachbody other than me purchasing the actual DVDs. I'm old school, so I purchased the DVDs.
There you go. Yeah.
I still use them. So I think it's a fantastic program.
Yeah.
I also got other programs I got from them. I didn't like as much, but the P90X series, highly recommended for anybody, because I'm a big at-home fitness guy. So
yes. Oh, amen to that. Yeah. Well, I'll put out there too, I'm not associated at all with Beachbody as well. My brother bought the DVDs. It was probably 15 years. Well, not 15 years ago, but somewhere around there. And same thing from Insanity. I went to P90X, and for years that's what I did. I used to hate Tony Horton. and now I absolutely love the guy. So I'm right there with you. I agree. P90X is a great place to start and to continue too. You know, as long as you're tracking, working towards progressive overload, which I wasn't at the time, but yeah, really, really great workouts.
Working toward progressive overload.
Yes, yes.
Wow. Why have I never heard that term before? What is progressive overload?
Oh man, progressive overload is like it's the name of the game. This for me. So during P90X, I did P90X 1, 2. I dabbled with some of his like home workouts that he did.
Yeah.
And through all those things, I just remember walking and looking in the mirror. I'm like, jeepers, like nothing's changing. And a lot of it had to do with my nutrition, but I just wasn't eating enough of the right, good foods. But the bottom line was I wasn't, they want you to write stuff down, write it down, try to do more the next time.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever you're doing, even in cardio as well, like do a little bit more the next time. And that's for me been the key now from over the past years. I've tried to gain muscle very conservatively, so I'm not gaining a ton of fat with it, but I've probably put on about 20 pounds in the past 2 years and relatively maintained my body fat levels. So I wouldn't say all of that's muscle, but it's been by going and writing down, okay, this week I lifted, whatever weight, 10 reps. And then the next week I try to get one more rep or make my form a little bit better, slow down the movement, anything like that. Little tweaks.
Right.
Will lead to, big results.
And so you're a young kid still. I mean, because you have
we'll say.
And is it fair for me to ask how old you are?
Sure. Yeah. No, I'm 32.
You're how much?
32.
32. Okay.
This summer. I'm starting.
I got a few years on you, all right? Because
you don't look like it.
Thank you. The crowd that I focus on is the fitness over 50 crowd.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And my whole goal is to help them. My motto is look better, feel better, lose some weight.
Right? Yeah.
Because once you be an old man like myself, what I found out talking to a lot of folks my age is we no longer wanted to, when we worked out, I didn't want to bench press a Buick anymore. I mean, my max on the bench press was 340. At that point, I'm like, okay, why? I'm not competing to do anything.
That's impressive too.
And I have no issue if somebody wants to do that, but I said there's got to be other folks out there that they don't want to work out and get their personal or PR, personal record every time they work out. They just want to look better, feel better, lose some weight. So that's what I focus on. So then when I hear what you're saying, say, okay, I want to increase my reps, increase my weight, and it's great. It brings me back for 20 plus years ago. I'm thinking, I was the same way back then. So I understand exactly where you're coming from, and the folks that follow me know exactly where you're coming from as well. Yeah. And more power to you. And why I'm bringing this all up, I don't know. Maybe because we have two different mindsets here.
Yeah, no, it's fun to bring those two perspectives because you're absolutely right. I mean, it's going to develop. And I mean, I even know, guys' testosterone even can start to teeter out, in the mid to late 30s. So
hey.
But it holds steady. I've seen research that it holds. So, but yeah, it's bound to change. And you're right. I mean, even for me, you see a lot of people that, they push it to the max, tear a pack, mess up their back. And then by the time they're your age, they're just like, kicked over, bent, and hurting all the time.
Absolutely.
So it's about longevity ultimately.
Yeah.
Doing it slow in the right way.
And for those that are watching on my channel and also your channel, I have no issues with somebody, a young whippersnapper like yourself that's doing what you're doing. I mean, go for it, man. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And like I said, what I focus on is the older crowd because life is going to happen. And look at you right now, and the way you and I had to change, well, essentially you change things to get together. I mean, it's your life is hectic. I mean, you have two kids or 3 kids?
3 kids, yeah.
All right, your life is hectic.
Yeah, a little bit, just a touch.
So what are the age ranges of your kids?
Yeah, so I have a 6-year-old, 4-year-old, and a 1-year-old.
Wow.
Yeah.
You are busy.
I've heard people say it's like the toughest point, when they're all under 8.
Okay.
The oldest, he helps a little bit, but they can't do a ton. So,
So how do you find the time to work out then?
Oh my
I mean,
God.
obviously your wife and yourself have to be on a schedule, say, okay, I need 30 minutes, 60 minutes, whatever it is. Can you watch the kids and let me do my stuff, and then vice versa? Or how does that work?
Right. Yeah. Oh man. I'll try and be succinct because I could go on and on about it, but so, and I'll say this again, anytime I say this, how busy I am, everybody's busy in some way, shape, or form,
Absolutely.
I never want to make it sound like, oh, I'm uniquely busy, but so basically 3 kids, under 6 and under, definitely takes a huge toll. Everything is chaos to try and just get out the door. So finding coats, finding shoes, all that. On top of that, both my wife and I were both self-employed. So we each run a business. And then on top of this, I'm doing YouTube as well. So it's just crazy and unique. But what I have found over the years has been, I used to, I think back to before kids, my wife and I'd get home, we'd do our workout, have some dinner, sit and watch TV, and then, eventually go to bed. And I could do that up until my son was probably about a year old. And then it got to the point where I got home, she needed me there to have a break.
I understand.
So it started to shift. I started to work out in the morning. So now, I mean, basically my schedule, I lift about 3 days a week, and then I do cardio once a week, which is not ideal for cardio. I'd like to be doing more cardio. It's kind of what I've had to mold to once my our second son was born. So he's the youngest. So I just had to shift because alternate days, I need recovery time and I need work time to actually get forward motion in all my businesses. So that's kind of the way I've done it. And I get up somewhere between 5 and 5:30.
Okay.
And I'll put this out there just for people because sleep is so important. I mean, especially right now.
Absolutely.
Well, it's always important. And for about a year and a half, especially when I was starting my channel, I was killing myself. I was getting like 4 to 6 hours of sleep. It was terrible. I wasn't making much progress. At the time, I was going through a very intense diet. I lost a ton of muscle mass just because I wasn't sleeping enough. And so that was utterly miserable. And I would just put to people out there like, yes, try to start with 15 minutes. Start with something small that's attainable, even if it's 3 days a week. 15, 20 minutes. Yeah, start with that, get used to that. But make sleep for sure a priority, especially as you train harder and harder, or, to the point, where you feel comfortable. Sleep's that much more important to be able to recover. So anyways.
It's funny you say that because, me being a lot older than you, and won't get into how much, but I was talking to somebody today. I said, this past Saturday night, now granted, we all know this pandemic's going on, so nobody's really going out much. But, and I was thinking back, even 10 years ago, Saturday night, 9 o'clock, it's 9:30, I'm going out doing something. Then now Saturday nights, that under the covers is looking better and better.
Right.
Nice under there. And then you get some sleep. Better and better. So you mentioned sleep.
Oh my gosh. I remember the first moment my wife and I it was a Friday night. I mean, I love Friday nights. Usually I'd be gaming with my brothers or something, but I think we had 2 kids at the time. They both fell asleep really early, and it was 8 o'clock, and we looked at each other. We're like, we should just go to sleep. We can actually go to bed early. And I'll never forget that moment. I was like, oh wow, things have changed.
Things have changed, absolutely. So all right. So we're on the subject of your family, and I'm not gonna I don't want to get personal because it's none of my business, but I gotta bring this up because I saw a couple of your videos. I'm gonna behind the scenes, so I'm gonna look at it real quick. There is one that caught my attention. Where is it again? It says, oh yeah, in the headline for your video was, "Can a 5-year-old push me to my limit?" And it has a picture. I guess it's your son pointing at you or something.
Oh yeah, he's screaming at me.
All right. So what was that all? Do you remember that one, or what was that all?
Oh, that was blast. Yeah, that was actually my in-laws. I was trying to get a video out for that week, and I was, didn't have many resources because we were traveling. So I was like, you know what, Rylan, you're going to lead me through a workout. And he's, sometimes I'm usually, working out when they're asleep. But if he's awake, they'll come in sometimes and they want to grab the little weights and do something with me. So, and then he'll Daddy, let me show you a move. And so he'll do these little jumps and things. And So I was like, let's do that, Ryan. You're actually going to lead me in a workout. So he chose the move, and he tried to push me and see how far he could get me. And then I tried to, obviously at the time he was, 5, his 5-year-old coming up with exercises. They weren't that intense, but so I tried to then take it and like see how intense could I make it. So it made it fun. And he, of course, he had a blast screaming at his dad. So
good for him. Good for
yeah.
him. Right. So, all right. So another question I have is you do a lot of stuff with your family, of course. So do you work out at home or do you go to a gym?
Yeah, no, that's for me that's going to be one of my kind of defining factors that I want to show people. Okay, here was point A where I started, and I'm probably going to give myself 5 years or so. I don't, sleep is less than normal, recovery time's less, so my results are going to show slower. So, at about 5 years, I want to be able to look back and say, okay, here in 5 years, all I did was work out from home, and this is what you can do.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and already the results that I've seen just in the past 3 years compared to, 10 or so years of exercising before this, where I didn't know what I was doing,
Mm-hmm.
I've already made a lot of progress. So working out from home, I don't have the time. I don't live in a place where there's a gym nearby. Some people might drive 5 minutes down the road. We're out in the country, so there's one like in town, but it's pretty small. But the amount of time to pick everything up, head there, and then you got to potentially wait. I want to be able to just do my thing. So I've had to slowly build up equipment.
Mm-hmm.
I still do everything with dumbbells. I just got an adjustable bench. After 3 years, I finally have a bench. So I've been doing everything, kind of makeshift. When I've seen workouts online or different things, I tweak them. So
Yep.
and that's some of the other value that I've been trying to put out too on my channel is to say, hey, if you don't have these things or you don't have the money for these things, there's ways to make it work.
Absolutely. Absolutely. One of the things that I push quite a bit is I tell folks, if you don't want to go to a gym, that's fine. I can show you how to do workouts. Anything you can do at the gym, I can show you how to do at home.
Yes. Yeah.
Is it going to be as effective? That's totally up to you, but I can show you how to do it with your own body weight. And like you, the only weights that I have is I have 2 sets of dumbbells, a 20-pound dumbbell, 25 dumbbell, 25-pound dumbbells.
Yeah.
I have exercise bands and I have a pull-up bar. Other than that, that's all my equipment. I can do workouts galore. Now, granted, once again, you and I, we come from the P90X Beachbody stuff, so we understand. Sure. Now, before I first saw that or got that video, I'm thinking, oh, what can that following a video? What video DVD? What's that going to show me? Now, I'm Mr. Gym Rat at the time. If you don't go to a gym, you're not going to get in shape. Holy cow, was I wrong? And since then, which is about, 12, 13, 14 years ago, it has totally changed and revamped everything I do. Now my workouts are entirely at home, and I coach folks video-wise. I coach them that way as well. Now,
nice, yeah.
Can I do stuff at the gym? Sure. Do I want to? No. Like you, I don't. I'm too damn cheap. So sorry, but I am. Yeah. And two, by the time it takes me to get dressed, get stuff in the car, get to the gym, and unpack and start working out, I can be 3/4 done with a workout at home.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Just it's a time saver for me, and for you especially, being busy like you are, you can't afford to waste time to go somewhere to do stuff that you can do at home.
Right. Absolutely. Oh my gosh, I love hearing that. Like those are the basics I recommend to people. I was like 2 sets of dumbbells, some resistance bands, and a pull-up bar. I was like, if I've even told people, if you have, really few resources monetarily, and you really don't want to spend money or do anything like that, like a few resistance bands, you can do wonders with.
Oh, absolutely.
So
yeah, that. And then they say, well, what about nutrition? I say, you know what? I keep things basic.
Yep.
You're more hardcore with your nutrition than I am. I tell people all the time, all right, let's paint everything with a broad stroke here. All right. And I tell them, we mentioned sugar earlier. I said, cut out sugar or cut back on sugar. If you want to be hardcore, cut it out. Great. The less sugar, the better.
Yeah.
And I say, cut out salt. The less salt, the better. If you're the type of person that when food is presented in front of you, you reach for a salt shaker before you do any kind of tasting, bad. Cut it out.
I hear you.
Less sugar, less salt, drink a ton of water.
Yeah.
Doing those 3 things, and you'd be amazed at what's going to happen to you in the next 30 days. Just
my
those
gosh.
two things.
Yeah. Even just the water alone, like
Mhm.
the amount of, what that does. And for me, when I started drinking more water, like I had this mindset shift of, I looked at water and it was like, fuel in a sense. It was almost like oil for a car. Now,
Mhm.
and I know oil's not fuel, but I'm not that automobile
Woo!
illiterate, but
Wow. This
I'm not
younger
great
generation
with cars,
now,
but
I don't
I
know
know that one. But I guess more, I looked at it. It was fuel for my body, but it's really, I mean, it's more so oil in that it's juicing all it's not really juicing all the joints, but you know what I mean? Like, it's providing your body like everything you need. You're made up 70% of water. Like,
Yeah.
for me, the mindset shift helped me then to drink more water and to think about it. And it helps with hunger so much.
Oh yeah.
So
Have you gotten from anybody the I guess the water excuse, if as I'm calling it, that there's people that died from drinking too much water?
yeah,
Have you heard that one yet?
I've read it. I haven't been told it yet.
In my
But
thing,
I have read that, like marathon runners or
it said,
something.
can you die from drinking too much water? I said, if you don't pee, yeah.
Right. Or
But
if you're like guzzling a gallon in a sitting. But
Yeah,
oh,
you're
dear.
gonna pee, so you're not gonna
Yeah.
die from water unless you hold it or
Yeah.
something.
And it's like you'll know if you're getting to that point.
Yeah, you'll know real quick. Yeah. Even
Yeah.
when you're like me, you'll know that. So.
Right.
All right, David. Now, I only asked for a half hour of your time, and we're getting right at that
Sure.
the time limit. So, first of all, tell folks how they can get in touch with you, and are you offering anything out there for anybody? And let's tell us about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So for me, my main place to go is my YouTube channel, which is Dad Bod Fitness. If you search that, usually it should be the first channel to pop up.
It is. Yep.
And wonderful. And then also on Instagram is my other kind of go-to place. So that's Dad Bod. Well, what would it be? At Dad Bod Fitness TV. And then I have a Facebook page as well, which I can't remember the exact name, but if you go on Facebook, search Dad Bod Fitness, it should be one of the top ones that pops up. So
I'll find them, and I'll make sure I'll link to them at the
fantastic
videos are posted on the YouTube page. Yeah.
Okay, currently at the time, right now, I'm offering a free program. I really want to be able to make people have something that's accessible. Especially right now, some gyms are still closed. So if that's the case, I have it's a pull push legs day program. So it's a 3-day program. You can run it more often. It also comes with cardio and core workout, how to get set up on your nutrition, all that kind of stuff. I want to give it to you for free. So anyone, pop in your email, you can grab that real easy. So
fantastic. And if you're watching this or listening to this, whatever, and you're not in position to write anything, you guys know how to get in touch with me. Just send me a message or email or whatever, and I'll make sure I send it over to David, and he'll get it. So don't worry about writing down or not writing down the proper things. You can always contact me, and like always, I'll make sure I get stuff over to David. So if that's cool with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. All right. So David, is there any parting words you want to say to anybody out there before I let you go?
Oh man, I would say just for anyone who's teetering on the edge, there's so, here we are at the beginning of the new year. So many people are like, I want to make a change, but not quite committing. And I always tell people, like, strip away everything else. Start with one thing, just one thing that you want to change. If it's nutrition, like you said, start drinking water, cut out some salt, cut out a little sugar. I mean, it will do wonders. If it's getting into working out, I literally need 15 minutes, like 3 times a week. One small little thing, the rest will follow.
Fantastic. Great tip, David. Once again, Dad Bod Fitness. Type it in. You'll find it everywhere. So, Dave, once again, thanks you for being my guest this evening. I'm going to let you go. And for those watching, fantastic. Thanks for being here. Check the links, and we'll go from there. So until next time, this is Andrew, Top Fitness Strategies. Ciao.